Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you the two new bundles I have been created during a lot of time. Wow, a real challenge. The result is here. Even better, Inktober is here. You're going to be really fast with these brushes. I'm going to show you like a showcase. Wow, so stay with me until the end and you will discover how powerful Krita is with the ink technique. Are you ready? Because here we go. See you at the conclusion. Okay, now it's time for loading the bundles. So go to the settings, manage resource libraries, and go to the import button located here. Press import and look for the bundles. So we can load this. We have loaded already the bundles. Close. And then we have all the brushes located here. So you can see how easy is to load bundles in Krita. You have all the power. Isn't it cool? As you can see, we have all the brushes loaded. Each bundle has his own tag. So I can go to Ink P if I want to explore one by one to make myself more familiar with the brushes. Or I can go to Ink T to play with the textures. Or I can go to the ink tag, and that way you can see all the brushes that Krita has combined with these two bundles. Okay, also we can be on the all tag and right here ink, and we can select what do we want to go to the ink, to ink P, ink T. So you choose. I personally, as a fan of brushes, I work like this, and I designed these bundles to be in the upper part of the watercolor brushes. Do you like this? Okay, if you want to have this type of vanishing or fading effect, you need to go to the settings, configure Krita, and be sure that you are using the maximum brush speed at lower rates. I don't know what device you are using. You need to play a bit with these values, because maybe it will be 5, 6, 7, but here works pretty well with my arm speed and the type of the strokes I like to do. I have compared with the real strokes, so I think it's okay as this, but if your device behaves in another way, just change it and test it and done. Okay, if I move this and put to 41, for example, look at what happens. Now I don't have this effect. Don't be worried about your another brushes that are not using the speed, because this only affect when a brush is using this sensor here to control options here. Okay, let's recover things and continue. Okay, now a really fast showcase. This is a generic pen. It works much better with this blue. You can create a swatch just clicking here the right value you have here and click, and you give it a name. Okay, and then generic pen is very useful if you create this type of build-up effect using multiply and a color. Maybe blue is better than black, but you can use also black. The next one, worn out G pen, is very useful because it can create little sketches that you can detail pretty fast, and you have even texture. You can create a lot of detail. Also, you have these two ones. This is the little brother and the big brother, and you have to create this deep pen effect, thin to thick, and then the bigger one. This one was created for bigger drawings. I like this one a lot because it gives me this flat feeling, and it's very useful to create expressive strokes. You can go really fast. And then I have this, which is pretty much the same, but if I keep the brush stroke, I get diluted effect. Now we enter in the area of the special ones, because it will be more like retro effect. Blobs, which creates this type of inking. This is the shaky or tremble and creates this, good for cartography. The tremble soft, which is this one, but with this effect reduce, and you see how the jittering is more control. So maybe for this one is very interesting because it doesn't have anti-aliasing effect, so it's very good for printing purposes. And now we have this, which is different if I use with this tilt position or this tilt position. So I can create these gaps, or I can create this type of line. And in the markers, it's very important to follow the letter. You can see how they are affected by speed. I like this because I can create notan sketches really fast. Then we have this, which will be part of these ones. That's the reason why it's yellow. It is a brush and is more dependent on size, and you can see the type of stroke from thin to thick with a bit of texture here and a flat end. If I make fast brush strokes, I get this. If you know the tool, you recognize these strokes. Same with this Fuddy pen, and it creates this effect. If I control with low pressure, thick lines, flat effect. And if you know the tool, you know how this is produced. I can create really fast, a good stroke effect. Yeah, I love this one. Okay, now I go to the brush section. Normal brush, it has a bit of fiber effect here, but it's very traditional, very thin if you want. So you can create this super thin effect. And then I go to this, which is the flat brush, and with the speed I get this effect. And if I use without speed, I get this effect. It's very useful to fill blank areas. And now we have this, and I love this because I love this brush because it's really useful for writing effect. Can create really fast letters, but also I can control with low pressure. As you can see, the stroke is not as black as this with a maximum pressure, but with low pressure I see how the stroke is produced. And now you have the pen poke, which is very useful to create thin and thick and also texture in the same brushstroke. This one is also one of my favorites because it's really expressive. I can create this type of things. I'm going to create a new layer because I can create this type of brushstroke. Don't be worried about the size because you can increase a bit and you can produce strokes like this. If you have something that you want to shade, you can use this one. It's a dry brush. It's ink, but it's dry. And it's using the tilt. So here I have a small brush stroke, but if I use with the tilt, and I can control the effect with the flow. Less flow, more flow, not so dry. It's more like. And if you want to create maybe a blend between these tonal values, you can use the blender. It's like dropping water in your stroke, and you can create this type of effect. With small pressure, you will achieve this blending effect. I like a lot. Destroy your drawings. It's really fun. Alright, let's go for the texture. The first one is texture powder. It's very useful if you want to create a bit of texture on drawings, maybe for the backgrounds. Also, you can blend with the blend water. And then we have the texture splats. Uses the airbrush effect, so you can create this with a couple of seconds, but this one is like making just these little touches and create this effect. And also you have the big brother of this one you can combine. Also you can combine with this and then and this. So don't think these brushes work alone. These brushes work better if we use the eraser and then we add another brush and combining them together. The next one will be this, which is a random, and it creates this beautiful splattering effect. In real life, this will be a real mess in your desktop, but in digital, don't worry about splattering a lot if you like this technique. The next one is this, which I use a lot for drawing, and it's special because it is useful for drawing things, but also creates this grungy effect. And the next one, it will be something to create texture like this. Points, a lot of points that you can combine with lines later. And this especially is really good to create tree structures. So if you want to create trees, you can do with this brush, and then refine with a dip pen or a food pen or this type of brushes. If you need to create a lot of lines for a hatching or cross hatching, this brush will help you to create this type of effect. Can go from this to this, and can be used also with erasure to erase certain parts and create the texture you want. Cross hatching is really fun, and the only thing that I have to say about this is that you can control the spacing and control how much dense this is. Okay, I can create dense, or by default is lighter. And this brush is to create a textural effect. It's designed to create a textural effect. Use a lot the eraser because they will produce this type of shading, which I think is interesting. Play with it and let me know if you like it. The next one is this one, which goes from cross hatching to pure black. So you can create this type of shading in your objects, and if you need to create a black area, you can do with big pressure. Also, we have the inverted, so you can also the erasing, and you get the idea. Then we have fingerprints, and I use this like stabbing my paper, little touches, not just this type of stroke. I prefer maybe for adding to black area and create fading effect. And now we have the vegetation. If these were useful to create a trunk, this is useful to create leaves. So if you need to create a lot of leaves, you can do it that way. And if you need to detail, you can use this one and create this type of drawing effect, right? And this will be for bigger shapes affected by light, and you can see how we can play with the negative space and create this type of shading. And that's all. That is what we have for creating impressive drawings in Krita. Already available for you, and I hope you like it. And that's the end for now. And if you think this work deserves your support, please remember you can donate to Krita, and Krita will be bringing you the best and creating new features. Activate the notification bell, share with your friends, and show the people how you can use Krita and create amazing results that are not possible even in other software. So stay tuned for more content.